Don't you know we're just starting? But you sure we got the clue how bad this we go. Don't you know no more art? And as you look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done, but the time it hit you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Gautopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. No tagline. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Snort Burnell. Oh yes, one of our favorites. DSP Gaming. Over 800 gifted subs in total, lying about chargebacks, and I don't accept help behind the scenes. Now, I will, if I remember to, I will, actually, I don't even know if I have that link anymore. Never mind. I had something off of Phil's Twitter that was actually sent to me on Twitter by Killer. Shouts out to Killer. Thank you very much for that, man. That was from Phil's timeline. I'm blocked, so I couldn't see it, as most people. Where he talks about, you know, from this moment on, I won't be accepting help behind the scenes, and then put up a couple of screenshots. They obviously look photoshopped, but it was still pretty funny. I had put that in the last video. If I can find it, I will also put it in the link or in the description box in this video also, so you can check it out. It's just something fun to laugh at, to be perfectly honest with you. So apparently Emerald 7, that's the individual's name in question, aka King Tut, aka King Tut 2.0, has allegedly gifted up to 800 subs at least 800 subs at the point that this video was put out by Snort Burnell. I'm hearing now that the number is much larger. I think he's definitely cracked maybe 1,200 subs, meaning that he's given 1,200 subs to Phil. Phil's obviously beyond that now, but that's all alleged. I haven't been keeping up with what happened last night, so I'm not sure. In any case, 800 subs, lying about chargebacks, and not accepting help. Now, the chargeback situation, we talked about that briefly in the broadcast yesterday, where Phil had admitted that you could get your money back from gifting subs, and someone has said it in the comment section that, you know, yeah, because it's like a 2-month stipend or something along those lines, you can also make that happen. Another thing too, I had made an error, as I do. That was my fault. I should have actually. It was on me to research it, not anybody else's, about the whole television situation, right? I never went over that video. I'll do it later on, and because I'm gonna go on a hiatus and whatnot, and I can go ahead and lay it out then. But when Phil was anonymously donated that television, which Phil later on admitted that he donated the money to himself to get it, so on and so forth, yada yada yada. Then this lovely young lady came through and provided us with this. Apparently, as I had said in yesterday's broadcast, Tut actually admitted to someone that he actually came through and donated the money to Phil so he could get that television. So for Phil, that has to burn a little bit, right? That the television that you're looking at is provided by the man who allegedly is bringing you down and putting you into the financial situation that you're in. A new tactic that's been taken up by the trolls, haters, and detractors, allegedly. And then, so thank you very much to this lovely young lady here. And then I had someone else that chimed in on that, if I remember correctly. Bam, there we go. And, oh yes, Phil is a very greedy bastard. This right here only pushes the narrative forward that as long as Phil believes that he's entitled, he'll take whatever's given to him. And he doesn't really care about the humiliation or anything that will come forth that will come forth from that, because he only has his mind on what's in front of him, what's within hoof's length, if you will. Anything past that, he's not thinking about it until it comes up. But when it does come up, he'll try to milk that for everything that it's worth. There's a Medicare quote out there that I'm going to need to find where someone had asked him, thanks, like I said, thanks to both of you guys for that comment. I appreciated that. Hopefully next year, if we're around, we'll try to incorporate that more. It reminds me of a Medicare quote that was asked to him on one of his live streams as it pertains to Sargon, if Sargon could bounce back from this like DSP will. And I remember Medicare taking a minute, and he was like, I don't think so. Because for whatever reason, as I like to call it, the devil's luck, Phil just seems to make his way. It's the most bizarre shit ever, but he somehow finds his way through the shit. Whereas with Sargon, it's just really bad. Like, everything's falling apart for that dude, at least that current. And he's losing just about everything that he spent all those years to build up. Whereas Phil just somehow keeps making it. But the thing is, though, is just like everybody's luck, it doesn't last forever. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat everything. You can't beat everyone. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Phil, at least in his current situation, every time a gifted sub comes through, he looks more and more scared. To be honest with you, he seems more and more nervous because he sees the money rolling in, but for the first time, yeah, he puts on his little piggy act. That's what he's supposed to. He's not a children's entertainer. But in truth, when you really kind of look at him, it's kind of like, oh shit, like he's just waiting for the hand. He's just waiting for the other foot to drop. To be honest, if all that money comes through, it'll be interesting to see what he thinks then. But for right now, he looks like he's just waiting for the other foot to drop, which is rather sad. But speaking of that, let's talk about all of the money that's being shelled out to Phil right now. Some of you have the theory that, oh, it's a fan, it's a legit fan, you know, it is what it is. Some of you, though, are under the pretense that if this might actually be a troll, and if it is a troll, it's going way too far. And what are your feelings about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? I've never looked at the situation of giving Phil money to troll him. That's just not something that I felt that was necessary. But what about you guys? How do you guys feel about that? Do you guys find it to be a way of going about it, or you feel like it's going too far? So, I guess let me know what you think as it pertains to that. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've kind of blabbered on long enough. Let's go ahead and get into the video proper. And ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network Productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work.
Warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Now, you guys may have noticed the sub count's a little bit high. In fact, that's the highest sub count we've ever had, 1,191 subs. And you might say, whoa, what the hell happened? What gives? How does Phil have so many subscribers? Well, yesterday we had, in particular,
One Good Samaritan. What? This shocks me.
and then a lot of other people as well who all subs. So basically one guy named Emerald7 came in and he gifted over 500 subscriptions yesterday. And then a few other people on the nighttime stream of Minecraft came in and...
That's actually a very good point that Snort brings up. If you see Phil's vocabulary that's changed from last year to this year, it is very obvious that he is pulling from people's videos. Definitely from Tevin's, as we all know. Snort Burnell's. He's pulling from other people too, but you can just tell in how the terms that he's using. Good Samaritan. Short term, long term. I'm not trying to go ahead and take any credit on that. Excuse me. Situational awareness, things like this. He's pulling, excuse me, he's pulling from a lot of people at current, which is ironic because on top of him drinking all that gin at night and watching his wrestling, maybe, just maybe, that the wrestling is code for detractors. Just a Theo theory, if you will. I'm not saying that he's not watching wrestling, but I'm just saying he's watching a whole lot more than that. And if you're going to be up till 4 o'clock in the morning, you know what I'm saying, you're not just watching wrestling. You're obviously watching something else. You know what I'm saying? Which keeps him drinking. Just my opinion, though. DSP News.
also gifted subscriptions. So basically our subscriptions are sky high right now, okay? Really nice. and people will be able to take advantage of this stuff for the holidays. Okay, so yeah, so right now things are great. People are at a positive vibe, right? Everyone's enjoying everything. Things are good.
That's awesome stuff. I can't wait. I'm having so much fun now. Really, seriously, and I cannot wait for more. This is cool because I'm getting that positive vibe that I had for most of 2017. I'm getting it back now. Now, I'm getting that groove back, getting that vibe back. I'm ready for fun stuff. I hope you guys are ready too.
Subs are high. Everyone's feeling festive. I'm feeling festive. The only thing that sucks is my voice. If only my voice were up to par, right? Everything would be normal. It just sucks that my voice is all exasperated right now. But I will do my best, my friends, to tough through this.
Oh, it was good. Okay, then after that, Android X actually cheered. And he said, wow, lots of new subs here. Congrats, Phil. Finally a huge chunk towards your taxes. Well, I'll be honest. Is it a good start? Yes. Is it a huge chunk? No. Oh, no.
Why can't you just be humble and just appreciate what you have right there at face value? Like, you know what I'm saying? And he does that to continue to draw people in to keep supporting. And that's the thing. Like, when you think of this new tactic, if you want to call it a new tactic, that certain parties are taking against him, right? Now, Phil has to fight on two fronts. He has to not just convince the people that are there to give him money. Not only does he have to convince the people there to give him money and to continue to give him money. When the second party comes in, these whales who decide to throw all this money at him, he has to try to keep them happy and keep them donating, while still making party number one continue to give him money also. He spends more time convincing people to continue to give him money than he probably does in just asking people to give him money. Isn't that crazy? He's essentially turned begging into a full-time job, where he's focusing on that almost as much as the game itself, because it's starting to bleed into his playthroughs a little bit. So why even play video games anymore? Like, just go ahead and literally what Phil should do is do what Monday Matt does and whatnot. To be honest, just don't do random news stories. It's just boring anyway. But like, I'm not saying what I do isn't boring, I guess. But what Phil should do is just pick a couple of stories off Twitter. Pick like 4 of them. Pick 5. Pick 5, Phil. And then have his fan base, if you want to call them that, have them pick like 5 or 6, and then just stretch that shit out. Just stretch that shit out for a couple hours. He'll make more money doing that, I think, over the games. Yeah, he'll make the money for the games will be more on YouTube, but on Twitch, it's better if he just talks and gives his opinion, so people like me can just pick that shit apart for the fun of it. To be honest, it'd be easier that way, I think, because the guy doesn't want to play games anymore. He's done with this. You know what I'm saying? It's run its course for him. It's very obvious. But just my opinion. What do you guys think he should do? DSP News.
Bastard, so fucking greedy, but it's a good start, okay? I don't want anyone over-exaggerating. You know, you got to realize subs, maybe people may not realize this, subscriptions, I get half of everything.
Oh, yeah. That's a really great point. Oh, that's a really great point. When we're talking about the subs that were given to him, too, we're not talking about just Tier 1 subs. He's been getting a little bit of Tier 2 subs and a little bit of Tier 3 subs. I heard innuendos about that last night, but I don't have numbers in front of me. We'll just wait till that video comes about. But, so he's making a whole lot more than what he's saying. Now, granted, is it 16 grand? No. But he's making real headway. And yet again, the transparency is, he can't be transparent anymore. He can't tell us. I remember Argent just did a stream. Shouts out to Argent, by the way. He did a stream the other day. Or maybe it was yesterday, I think. And I only caught the cliff notes of it. But he was talking about how, because of the lack of transparency that Phil has, he has to work harder to, as I said earlier, well, somewhat, we worded it differently, on how to keep people in line to keep giving him money. Because if people knew what he was actually making, they wouldn't give him money. Because he is blatantly lying to people, he's misleading people, which leads back into, I think it was James the Lesser, who had put the theory out there that Phil could very well be sitting on $250,000, $300,000 possibly somewhere, and he just does this for the hell of it. And why wouldn't he? Let's go ahead and try to build upon that theory a little bit. He has nothing to lose. He is the internet's piece of shit. He is the internet's toilet. He's the internet's King John. I have more people who come into my comment section who, most people would just say, die, get a life, whatever, who come in and say, why would you waste your time on a Let's Player than anything else, than people that would actually come in and defend him. It's people who don't know not a goddamn thing about him, or only have heard about him by reputation. So if he already has a shit reputation, then what does he care what other people think? Get everything he can and run with it. Which might even tie into his reason on not wanting to have children. Well, besides the fact that he's a selfish piece of shit, is the fact that why would anybody want to subject a child to that? There's not too many places he could go where people aren't going to recognize him. And even if they do recognize him, they might not approach him or they may not say anything. I find that there are a lot of people who are sympathetic to him until you really get into the shit that he's done. You know what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, like, for example, going around shadow banning because people have a different opinion than me, or lashing out at you. If that's what you're looking for when you come over here thinking you're trying to get somebody triggered, you're wasting your time. I promise you're wasting your time. Because at the end of the day, you're allowed to have an opinion. Go over there to Phil and tell him what you really think about him. You're not going to last very long, buddy. So any sock accounts that you have, which I'm sure all of you guys have sock accounts, be ready to fire them up. Because you're going to need them. It is what it is. But yet again, going back on topic, Phil needs this. I can pick up and walk away from this at any time. Mighty D can do the same. James the Lesser. Once I step away from this mic, I go on with my shit. Phil has no choice but to live this. And to take all of the good and as the majority, all of the bad that comes with it. He don't have a choice. He has no choice but to live this. And it's by his own making. It's his own personal hell that he brought upon himself. I can't really feel bad for him when he put himself here. Because all the years that he was on top, all the years everything was going good, he could have saved his money. He could have been less of a fucking douchebag. He could have been humble. He could have been more appreciative. He chose not to. So now that he's slowly but surely seeping himself into the dumps, I'm supposed to feel a certain type of way? Why? I didn't put him there. Nobody that I know in particular put him there. He put himself there. I'm not kicking him while he's down. I'm merely reporting on the dumb shit he do. That's it. And if you guys find it amusing, you guys find it amusing. But after that, you guys move on with your day. There isn't any grand conspiracy by the detractors to see him lose his house. He'll lose his house, but that'll be all on his own accord. No one else. Oh, anyway. Let's continue going into this long monologue and shit.
So, what was it? About 500 gifted subs times half of what the subs cost. That's what I made, okay? I've got a long way to go, but this was a very good start, and I am very grateful for it, okay? It's greed. It's greed. Greed is...
Now, let's talk briefly. Sorry, I should have done that initially. Let's say this is a fan, okay? Let's say that's what the case is. This is actually a fan. Where have you been? It goes back to something that I said early on when I started this, is that I always felt like there was a competition amongst the whales and the pay piggies, or the piggy bankers, if you will, in his little fan base. And it's almost like they wait for somebody to kind of drop off or take a hiatus before they try to step up. That's essentially how Swaggin got to where he was. Because if Vidal was still over there, Swaggins wouldn't be in the position that he's in. Or he wouldn't at least garner the type of power that he has, if you would call that power. It's not. But you know what I mean. So, you really had somebody waiting in the wings, if this is a fan, who was just waiting in the wings, ready to shell out thousands and thousands of dollars to you in your time of need, when people like Swaggins, who's there almost every day, doesn't shell out a goddamn thing. It seems odd. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm siding with the fact that this might not... I don't know what he is. I don't know what Emerald 7 really is, if he's Tud or not. It just seems really awkward that they wouldn't come to him sooner. Or maybe they themselves wanted to see more of the desperation. To see exactly how far is he willing to push this to determine, oh, well, okay, maybe I should help him out because maybe he really does need the money. Just my thoughts, though. Let's continue.
massively strong. I have no fucking self-control. Fuck you, you fucking greedy piece of shit. Go fuck yourself.
All right, Cookie tipped me $1, so be careful because there's spoilers on the whole game of Kingdom Hearts. Have a merry Wolfmas. Well, thank you, Cookie, who's sitting next to me for that tip. Actually, it wasn't really Cookie. It was someone impersonating Cookie. But if you don't know what they're talking about, sadly, ladies and gentlemen, people have already obtained copies of Kingdom Hearts 3, are playing it and spoiling the shit out of it on the internet. This is not an exaggeration. This is a warning. I warned everyone about this on Twitter this morning. Already, people have not only shown the cover art, the title screen, in-game gameplay, and they're spoiling boss fights in the plot line. Do not. If you care about Kingdom Hearts 3, between now and its release, do not look for stuff about Kingdom Hearts 3 on the internet to stop from spoiling, okay? I'm just saying, it's a bad situation. There's absolutely no reason for anyone to have this fucking game yet they do. And this is, I hate to say it, just a sad symptom of an industry where we have to give out fucking copies so early to people who are elitist and who get treated with special treatment to get games.
Alright, let's stop this cuck right there for a minute. One, this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you get all of your information off Twitter. Let's be honest. Don't be wrong. Twitter's useful. Twitter's useful as shit. But when someone puts up an article with a header saying early copies are out, Phil doesn't actually read the article, or he won't, click the link. He just reads the header and then he moves with it, which is a problem. Don't get me wrong. I've been accused of doing that too. But then again, I don't go on epic rants about it, trying to fucking talk from the top of Mount Snort on the peaks of Galtopia about some shit that I really don't know anything about. I just go ahead and just retweet it. In any case, what happened, ladies and gentlemen, is a bunch of people well, not a bunch of people, but a few people who were in positions snatched copies and sold that shit for the fucking highest bidder. There are stores that were able to get copies early because everybody is getting copies early. Even my mom and pop shop in the spot there's like 3 of them actually. 3 of the mom and pop shops that are, I would say, within 45 minutes of me or so, they have it too. They have all the advertisements out. They have everything. They already have the games. I've talked to the dudes. I'm not willing to pay $300 to get it early. That's what happened. You have people inside these stores, even at GameStop, who are selling them early and selling them for fucking high amounts of money. And then you have people that were on the inside who stole a couple boxes and then, distributed amongst other people, and everybody's making bank off it. That's essentially what the deal is. That's what happened. A lot of games get leaked like that. It's just with Kingdom Hearts, it's a big fucking deal because it's a game that people have been waiting for a very long time. But to be honest with you, Disney should have known better. To be honest with you, we all should have known better. Because that's what happens with highly anticipated games like this. If anybody can get an angle to get in, they'll do it. The Call of Duty community should be a perfect example. I'm not trying to shit on anybody in particular. But back in the day, when Call of Duty really meant something, sadly, people used to pay Call of Duty YouTubers, if they weren't getting it for free back in those days, they would pay $200-$300 just to get the standard copy, just so they had it up, you know what I'm saying, like a week or two beforehand, before Activision started really smacking people with MZAs and shit. It was just the common practice. And even if they weren't going to put it out early, they would sit there and make video after video after video. So when the game was launched, they would already have videos out. Excuse me. They'd already have videos out and, best weapon guides and this, that, and the third. They used to have all that shit day 1, day 2, day 3. Even before some of the bigger guys who actually had been given free copies that they didn't have to pay for or whatever the case may be could do it. It's just how the game is played. The gaming industry is a very predatory type industry. I have been working on a video on the side talking about the music industry and talking a little bit, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to do anything serious, but talking about R&B in particular. Just because I was able to speak to somebody on Instagram who was trying to get into the R&B community, and she was telling me about some of the stuff that they wanted her to do. And I won't put her name out there for obvious reasons. But the stuff that she was telling me was similar to stuff that I remember hearing in YouTube videos. I remember reading in articles in like Vibe magazine and stuff like that, because all my older brothers had that stuff. Vibe magazine, The Source, and all that shit about you know, really big R&B singers back in like the fucking 90s and even early 2000s. It was crazy. And I've been thinking about, I've been working on like the script for it, and I've been, you know, working on how I'm going to put that together. I don't know if I'm going to ever really do it or not, but it's definitely something interesting. But the gaming industry it's getting up there where everybody is merely just a victim of it in some way, shape, or form. Which, you know, that gets in that whole Gamergate nonsense. We're not doing all that. I'll leave that for Sargon. All right, let's continue.
Early, that at this point, I don't know why that process exists, because now we have the situation we have now. Over a month away to the release of a game people have been waiting for over 10 fucking years, and the game's being spoiled on the internet because people were so stupid to give out early copies, and or to just be unsafe with the copies that were out there. You know what I mean? So anyway, please, if you don't want...
Now, what he did was kind of assholeish there, because he's sitting there yet again still bashing the whole advanced copy system, and then scales it back slightly to be like, oh, or being unsafe with the copies that were given. So he himself knows that those copies were stolen. He knows that, you know, some grimy shit happened, but yet he still wants to attack the system. He still wants to attack the practice that he himself benefited from at one time or another. He's just too lazy to participate back in it. Getting a free copy of a game isn't nearly as difficult as people make it sound like. It's really not. And so, with that being said, all he has to do is put in 15 minutes, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Of kind of poking around, sending off a couple emails, and you'll be surprised. People will answer you back. But see, Phil doesn't want to do it. He wants the prestige of just it being presented to him. He doesn't want to have to work for it. Yet again, essentially just pushing the boulder downhill on why shit's falling apart for him. Because he's just too goddamn lazy. And what is it really worth? You don't hate the practice, you just hate the fact that you have to work to benefit from that system. Whereas back in the day, Machinima would just send you a survey and be like, hey, what games are you interested in? And he was so focused on that, and he felt so special about that he could never give up that idea. It's a shame, but it's the piggy way. Dspnews.
Be spoiled. Do not search on the internet for stuff about Kingdom Hearts 3 between now and the release. You will get spoiled, okay? Just saying. I personally wasn't looking for it. I already saw the cover art and like a few in-game screens because someone posted it all over Twitter. I'm like, you fucking asshole. The Pwn Cake just did a 50-bit cheer and said, I hope folks still contribute despite the sub bombs of last time. Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's what happened in the summer. We had a guy come in who I had never heard of, and at the time he had never really talked in my chat. And he dropped sub bombs, he dropped cheer bombs, he did everything, okay? Within the course of 2 months, the guy had contributed a ridiculous amount of contributions, but what had happened was everyone else basically said, oh, well, Phil's now, you know, raking in the contributions from this guy, we don't need to contribute anymore. And contributions really slowed down outside of this one guy for about 2 months. And then sadly, the guy revealed himself to be a troll. He tried to charge back everything via tips, even through not PayPal, but through Twitch. He basically, the guy tried to get all his money back to screw me over. By the way, it didn't work. He failed miserably and lost all of that money, despite what he wants to tell the internet to save face because he's so fucking embarrassed that he's an idiot.
And if I look down at the stream chat and everything is tut, 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 it's going to be ban, 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 and then we're going to continue on like normal fucking humans and not idiots. And basically the final email, he's like, I want all my money back. And I'm like, you're not getting any money back. This fucker tried to steal money from me. You cannot, and I'll say this again, you cannot charge back subs. You cannot charge back cheers. You can't charge back anything like that. Anything you put through Twitch is 100% done and locked in.
Really?
Let me put it this way, Tutankhamun. How about this? If
we confirm that everything is legit, which sadly is going to take 2 months, if we can confirm everything is legit, and you contact me in 2 months, then I will send you a shirt, absolutely. But I'm not just going to send you a shirt when we have no guarantee of what's going on is legit, because remember, There may be a chargeback. Like, what if Twitch figures out, oh, this was a fraud? There may be a chargeback. Like, what if Twitch figures out, oh, this was a fraud, right? Then they might...
And yet again, that leads us to the situation he's in now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, he put this on himself. Just like how everybody knows, or people who generally have an idea, people like myself, have an idea or know when he gets paid from Twitch and YouTube. He's told us. He's told us. You have to dig for it a little bit, but you can find it. It's in a video. You can definitely find it in a Snort, Burnell, or a Mr. Hofstuff video, or a Mighty D video, or Memology 101. Shouts out to all of them. You'll find it there. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And Tevin, praise be almighty, talks about it occasionally too. So we know what he makes. Well, that was outside sources. We have an idea of what he makes. We know when he gets paid. And he himself exposed the system to us. Like, for example, when he was indefinitely suspended off Twitch. And then he ended up coming back. And then he told us what the escalation system was. That was for people who were partnered. We weren't supposed to know that. But see, Phil's got a big-ass mouth. And he has nothing to talk about in his life. That he had no choice but to blur that out because it was something that would make him look good. It was something that would make him look special. It was something that would make him look prestigious. And that's why he said it. And that's why he said it not even thinking about what the consequences were. Or Phil's an idiot and he doesn't know that that's not public knowledge. Or he didn't know that was something that's not well known, especially to people who weren't partnered. Yet again, he jams himself up. So yet again, I can't feel no sympathy for someone who doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. That's not my fault. He knows that his life is under a goddamn microscope. He knows that he has lies upon lies upon lies out here, and people are just waiting to pick it apart. If not, they're already doing it. He should show better discretion. But he won't do it. And the thing is, at least for Phil, is the most valuable thing, and this is going to sound ironic, but the most valuable thing that he has is his image and his word. Which, don't get me wrong, neither one of them mean shit because he doesn't value any one of them. He comes on stream looking like a slob, and then his voice, he sits there and does what he says is a laugh, and whatnot. He lies profusely, and he bashes people who are better than him, who are more successful than him, or who go against his word. It doesn't have a lot of value, but those are the things that he's judged on. I don't know why it took him 10 years to come to that conclusion, but it's very obvious that's what the situation is. Just my opinion, though. I'm just a dog I'm just a cute puppy in a sharp suit, so it is what it is. Take that at however which way you want to do it. Dspnews.
Charge it back, and then know this will count. Good luck getting your money back because you can't. And he tried to charge back over $1,000 in tips, and PayPal said, nope, screw you, we're siding with Phil, just like they always have, and I kept all those tips too. Most of the tips that I get, I don't get that. A lot of the tips don't go through. That's happened a lot, where it says there's a tip, and then I look, and it's gone. For whatever reason, the bank declined it, or whatever. It sucks.
And that's not a new revelation either. He's been talking about that since, like... So he was talking about that like back in like 2006. So I don't know if that's just something that people forgot, but he's mentioned that a bunch of times about being given donations or whatnot and they don't go through for whatever reason. He's talked about that on Patreon. About people will pledge and then all of a sudden the pledge doesn't go through because they decline the charge or whatever the case may be. Phil based his livelihood on a system that is open to being manipulated. And he knows it because he's told us this. So why is it that Phil always has to constantly tell us, oh, I won this. Oh, I won that. Oh, I'm good. They always side with me, this, that, and the third. It sounds to me like someone who's trying to convince other people that he's successful. But let's dive a little bit deeper. It really seems like Phil trying to convince himself that he's not a loser. That he wasn't taken advantage of. That's the reason why he held on to that EVO win, that 4th place finish at EVO for all these years. It's all he has. If not, he's just another person who showed up and got beaten by, obviously, superior players, smarter players, even in a shitty port.
But, it sucks when it doesn't go through. This guy's a pathological liar. That's insanely dishonest. Dishonesty for me is a big thing. It's like the ultimate betrayal. You know what I mean? That guy is such a two-faced fat piece of shit. He pisses me off. Like, I seriously hate people like that are so fucking dishonest and two-faced and will do anything to make a fucking nickel.
Sounds to me like someone who hates himself.
He's disgusting.
So that guy who was trying to basically troll me for 2 months and then completely screw me over lost all that money and looks like an asshole now. Okay? But that being said, what ended up happening was the contributions slowed down, and actually the months of October and November, which normally would be very good contribution months, actually ended up being slow. In fact, if you can believe it, they were some of the slowest months of the year for me. Compared to like May, June, July, before this guy started dropping contributions, they were actually the busiest months of the year were slow for me. And it was basically as a result of him. So it kind of sucked, I'm not gonna lie. And that's one of the reasons why financially things actually were very tight for me the last few weeks, because normally I'd be getting bigger payments from Twitch in regards to those months, and I didn't. I got lower payments. So it kind of screwed me over a little bit. So, what I will say to you guys is this. I do appreciate all of your contributions, and I do appreciate, obviously, Emerald 7 with those subs last night. They were awesome. But please don't take that as an indication that now feels good forever. No.
I still need your help. Ayúdame, por favor. Es muy importante.
That's not how it works, you know. You guys know I have quite a large sum of money I need to raise between now and April.
In addition to my normal income, I need to raise about another roughly $16,000 between now and April.
And that, like I said, those subs last night were a good start, but nowhere near the amount I need to raise. So I just got to keep working. Even though my voice is all shot and everything, I got to keep busting my ass and doing my best to put out fun content for you guys, you know, and hopefully it all works out. So thank you for that. And yeah, please don't take that last night as an indication that, oh, it feels good now. That's not the case, okay?
Phil's just one of the worst e-beggars. Disgusting beggar.
Oh, there it is right there, actually. If I can find it, I'll put the link in the description if you guys want, so you can see the post for yourself. But yeah, that's it. And then he has the two photoshopped images at the bottom. It's pretty funny, actually.
We just had a troll in the chat. Celebrate Gout 100. So, har, Phil had gout earlier this year, and he talked about it publicly because he talks about this stuff publicly. He shares it, right? He's not ashamed. He's not one of these people who hides the personal shit about his life. He talks about it. And so I brought this up, and everyone knows that I had gout earlier this year, and I don't have it anymore. I haven't had it since, shit, I'm trying to think, the last flare-up was sometime during the summer.
Now let's talk about that a little bit, because Tevin touched on that a little while ago. Well, he still has gout. He just doesn't have the flare-ups, and that's because he doesn't eat red meat. He doesn't eat, is it like shellfish or whatnot? He doesn't mess around with the stuff that gives him gout. That's why he has constant cherry juice on supply. That's why the tea that he says that he's drinking to soothe his throat probably helps for gout too. I'm sure it multitasks. He's had to change up. You know what I mean? When's the last time you saw this guy eat a burger? When's the last time you saw him do a DSP Tries It? To be honest, a good one, I should say. You know what I'm saying? He's had to change his lifestyle because he had no real choice. To be honest, that's why he eats turkey burgers all the time. And he's always gonna have gout. It's just the way it is. He's always gonna have gout. But he can't make it. I'm sorry, that Seattle air fill didn't magically help. What would have helped if he actually exercised a little bit, if he actually, you know what I'm saying, did something to kind of keep himself moving. That would help, instead of going out once a week and exerting himself with Kat when he should be exerting himself with her somewhere else, or going up and down the stairs during his breaks. It's doing nothing. Just saying. Like, if he makes it to 46, if he makes it to 56, he's going to be in a whole lot of pain when he gets older. He really is. All because he won't take care of himself now. He would rather sit on his ass and be a gamer, allegedly. And then really just be an angry old man. Yeah, he's only 36, so I guess you really wouldn't classify him as old. But he certainly looks a whole lot worse than that. You know what I mean? He's only a step or two from Christian. And everybody's seeing what that looks like. Leave it at that.
You know, because I changed my lifestyle. I don't drink as much. I'm not eating as much red meat. I'm a lot more healthy now. And because of that, I haven't had any issues with it. But they think it's like funny to bring that shit up. Look, another one, fall gout. How is this funny? Like, what is funny about that? It's over. Like, it's so outdated. Find something else. Maybe the most outdated, stupid references. Like, you can tell. That's how you can tell how.
How's it outdated though when you have to change your whole lifestyle to prevent it, and you're not cured of it? You're just preventing it on a day-to-day basis. That's why you're drinking cherry juice. And I've tried cherry juice. I've tried it recently because I wanted to know, and it's all right. It's not something that I like cranberry juice more, to be honest, but it's all right. It's all right. It's just nothing special. And whatnot. It's just expensive too. God damn, cherry juice is expensive. You know what I mean? Well, kind of, sort of. But it's not my cup of tea, to be perfectly honest with you. But you're doing things to prevent it. But you still have it. You can't. I can go out and get a steak right now. I'm kind of wanting to do that. Matter of fact, I should take Raven's recommendation and actually go ahead and have a steak today. I might do that. Porterhouse would be good. In any case, Phil, you can't do that. You don't have the option of doing that. And the reason why it's funny, right, is because when you go back and you look at all of Phil's vacation blogs, and especially a lot of those times that he was with Panda, and you see them eating all these really nice looking meals 3 or 4 times a goddamn day, and you're seeing him scarf all this food down. It's like, are you a human garbage disposal? And when you see it, it was almost always meat and seafood, or a whole lot of meat, or a whole lot of seafood. And this was someone who wasn't exercising, who looked like a pudgy son of a bitch. Of course that shit was going to catch up to him. And the thing is everybody saw it but Phil. That's what makes it funny. Not necessarily the fact that you have gout, but the fact that everybody saw it and you didn't. Because for whatever reason you thought you were invincible, which we all do in our 20s. We think we're invincible. But at the same time, Phil, sorry, I'm just going to speak on just my friends. We're all in pretty good shape. You're just a slug, to be honest. Just my opinion. Dspnews.
Stupid and immature and just dumb these people are. It's not even funny. It's not annoying. It doesn't annoy me. It's not funny. It's not annoying. All you do is make yourself look stupid. Do I need to instruct people on how
Well,
to...
one, you're the one who seems very, very agitated about this, and 2, you're the one with gout. So who's really stupid? It's not like there's a gout epidemic going around or anything like that, Phil.
You're terrible at it. My God, you're bad. It's just so bad. It's not. It's just like pathetic. It's like a little 5-year-old, you know. It's like
Coming from the man who's still upset, who's still upset about an action figure that he didn't get 21 years ago. Coming from the man who sits on his couch, playing games poorly, telling everybody that he's better than what he is, though he doesn't demonstrate it, and still demands money from children. Monthly. Weekly. God damn it, daily. And you want to talk about pathetic, Phil? What does your resume look like, Phil? Just out of curiosity. Because I'll put mine up against yours all day. Just saying. Hopefully that business degree pays dividends when in your 50s.
33-year-old and a 5-year-old's trying to make fun of him. And you look at him like, are you fucking for real? Like, you just made a joke about, like, a banana or something. It's so dumb. Gout. I haven't even mentioned it. And how long? Because I don't have it. Oh, my God. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot.
Oh, boy. Well, that was a funny one. Revelations, ladies and gentlemen. Revelations. The next video should probably end up going over, the next broadcast, I should say, should be going over the incline of all of the subs and money coming in, and Phil looking more and more nervous. That'll probably be out tomorrow. and they will be yet again staying with the theme. There should be a Christmas video later on this evening, depending on when this one goes up. But hopefully this one goes up early. All right, guys. So thank you guys very much. Hopefully, I'm actually looking forward to seeing you guys' input on this in the comment section below. Thank you to Agent Proper as well as Ghostly Winds for yet again keeping me up with all this, because this is just absolutely silly. And just have a happy holidays, guys. At the end of the day, that's what really matters. Have a laugh at this guy's expense. And just have a happy holidays. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh, yes. A GTG Network Productions. I am your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off because I got shopping to do. End the broadcast. Womp womp.
Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis.